Imagine waking up every morning, looking down at your wrist and seeing how much time you have left to live. Now, not metaphorically, but literally how much time you have left to live. Such that every second that ticks away is not just time passing, it's your life running out. And if you run out of that time, you just fall flat and die. So let's say you have a cup of coffee to buy, and then you have to pay 3 minutes of your life. You want to pay for rent, you have to pay a number of weeks from that time. You want to pay for a luxury car, you have to pay a good number of years to get it. Now, that was the world people lived in a movie titled In Time. It starred Justin Timberlake. I think it was a 2011 movie. In that movie, time was the only currency that mattered. There was no cash, there was no bank account. It was just the amount of time you have left on the clock ticking on your wrist. So the rich in that movie lived for centuries, while the poor just wake up with a few hours to survive. And they just must constantly earn more time just to see another day. Now, what we saw depicted in that movie is not as far from reality as you might think, because in the real world, we're already living in a time marketplace right now. The only difference is that our total time left is not written on our wrist as seen in that movie. That's the only difference. And now, is that not even scarier? At least the people in the movie knew how much time they had left. In the real world, you actually don't. You don't know how much time you have left. So we trade time for money at our jobs. We spend time on entertainment. We invest time in relationships, in business. And whether you realize it or not, every decision you make is a transaction of time. A transaction of time. So in this episode, I'm going to be breaking down this concept, this business of time, how it works, and how the rich play this game to their advantage, and how you can stop just spending time and invest in it. Because the truth is that you can't get more time allocation than what you already have. All you can do is make it more valuable. Make that time more valuable. All right, so let's dive in. Time. The only true equalizer, as we call it. It's that only resource that both the rich and the poor have in equal allocation. It's the only resource that you can't buy more of. Yet, it's the most undervalued asset in the world. Think about it. Every other resource in life, money, relationships, health, influence, only makes sense within the boundaries of time. Because once you run out of time, nothing else matters. It's that valuable. Now, that being said, what actually differentiates people into cadres is what they do with time. This is why two people can have the same 24 hours, but completely different results in life. One person uses their time to learn, build, invest. The other person exchanges their time to consume, waste, and escape. And the crazy part, most people don't even realize that they are making these choices with their time. Now, let's talk about that. Like I said, we are all time traders. We are all time traders. We are constantly trading time for something. Whether we realize it or not, our time is constantly being exchanged and we cannot get it back. So you go to work, you are trading time for a paycheck. You hit the gym, you are trading time for a healthy body. You read a book, you are trading time for knowledge. You scroll on social media for hours, you are trading time for distraction. You're listening to this podcast, you are trading time for insights and ideas. Now, the big question is, are we making good trades? Are we making good trades? If we are time traders, what kind of trade are we making with our time? The richest people in the world don't actually have more hours than the rest of us. They just make better trades. They are better time traders. They buy time, they invest time. They create systems that multiply time. They leverage other people's time. They use tools and systems that would make their time more valuable, such that 1 hour of their time can actually get more done than an entire day of someone else's life. And that's what separates the wealthy from the struggling. I saw a stat about Jeff Bezos that says Jeff Bezos makes about $26 million per day, and that's about 798 million a month. That's like $1 million per hour. That's $18,000 per minute, $308 per second. That's what a man makes in a second, $308. And there's somebody trading 1 hour of their time for $5 somewhere within that same country. That scenario should make my point sink in already. See, the entire modern world, what we call commerce and enterprise, is wired around the exchange between time and money. It's just a marketplace of money and time exchanging hands. Let's take a step back. How does the world actually work? How does the modern world actually work? You see, employees sell their time for a salary, right? Entrepreneurs invest their time into businesses that eventually make money for them on the long run. Consumers spend money to save time with Uber, with meal delivery services, with online shopping. Investors multiply time by putting money into assets that grow without their involvement. Can you see it's just time and money exchanging hands? Just a trade of time and money. Almost every form of business transaction that can be done with money can be done with time. You can buy time, you can sell time, you can invest time, you can multiply time. And if you don't control how your time is handled, how your time is traded, somebody else will do it for you. So let's talk about the core difference. What's the core difference between the rich and the poor when it comes to time trading? What's the difference? If there is one thing that I would want you to leave this episode with, it's the statement I'm going to be making about the difference between the rich and the poor. And what's it? It's that the rich use money to buy time, while the poor sell their time to get money. Think about that again. The rich use money to buy time, while the poor sell their time to get money. The poor mindset sees money as something you get after trading time, and then you use it to buy stuffs. The rich mindset sees money as a tool to buy time and multiply the value of their time. So the rich hire people to do tasks for them that they don't need to do themselves. The poor try to do everything themselves and they stay trapped in that time for money cycle. That difference is simple but life-changing. If you can catch that difference, that's it. The use of money. The rich sees money as a tool to buy time. The poor see their time as something to trade to get more money. And so they have to trade more time to get more money. And that journey never ends. That cycle never ends. Now, the people that are ignorant of this that I'm sharing usually think the problem is around what they do or what industry they work in. So they think the reason why they've not been able to take a leave or a vacation is because they are not making enough money to take a vacation. So they think they need to make more money to actually go on a vacation. While the real reason is they have not actually taken time to audit and check, how am I making money? The real problem is not what you do, it's how you make money. So if your income depends entirely on actively exchanging time, it means anytime you stop working, your income stops too. So if you get sick, no income. If you take a vacation, no income. If you have a family emergency, no income. And that's why most people feel like they never have enough time, because how you make money requires you to actively trade time for money. Now, that being said, how do you actually gain an advantage in this time marketplace? Now that you are aware of how you make money and you want to make an adjustment, you've made an audit and you want to shift something, you want to do something that would give you an advantage in this time marketplace. What are the things you can do? Just two things, just two ways for you to actually gain an advantage. Number one is buying other people's time. So this includes outsourcing, this includes delegating, this includes hiring. So you are buying other people's time alongside their expertise, alongside their experience, alongside the wisdom of delivery that comes with that. And that way, you are having more time to actually get things done beyond the allocated time that you have personally to yourself. So number one is buying other people's time. Number two is multiplying the value of your time, multiplying the unit value of your time. So this is where you engage things like tools and systems that will help you multiply the worth of your time, the same time that you have access to. Tools like automation, technology, systems and processes, and the likes. So those are the major two ways that you can engage: buying other people's time and multiplying the unit value of the time you have. So if you're not buying other people's time, then it means you are looking at ways to multiply the value of the time you have. So I'll be sharing with you a list of practical leverage strategies that you can engage to play this business of time in your advantage. I'll just be going through them briefly, but I'll trust that you will do a deep dive. You dig into them and research and see how these strategies can actually apply in your case scenario. Number one is delegation. And this is when you assign tasks to free up time. You assign tasks to other people to free up time. You assign low priority tasks to other people so you can focus on higher priority tasks. That way, your time becomes more valuable. You have more time to focus on the things that actually moves the needle for you. You identify tasks whose value are actually less than the money value of your time, and you assign it to somebody else to actually get it done for you. Number two is outsourcing. Outsourcing is when you get an expert to do things for you faster, better, and more efficiently. So what you do in this case is you get an expert alongside their time, their wisdom, their expertise, their experience. They come and get the job done for you. Maybe a one-off project. They just get it done for you so you can actually focus on the top 20% of things that actually matter in your space. Number three is automation. Automation is when you use technologies, when you use softwares, where you engage artificial intelligence to eliminate repetitive work. Any repeated task that you do again and again on a periodic basis, maybe on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, or any task you do, for example, when you onboard every new client, you should start thinking about eliminating that repetitive work. Try and engage AI, try and engage softwares, automation technologies that would actually help you remove those time wasters from your table. Number four is systems and processes. With system and processes, what you want to do is to create a standard procedure by which things get done, such that nobody actually has to reinvent the wheel or go over the process of figuring things out anytime a task needs to get done. This way, you are making your time more valuable, making your time more efficient, and you would get more done over time. Number five is franchising and licensing. Whatsoever business you are in, you can actually leverage franchising. You can let other people run businesses under your brand name. You can hand them recipes. You can hand them systems and processes that you have already, just so that they can extend the business still under your brand name, and then they can be some level of progress that you could not have achieved on your own. That there is doing more with the same amount of time. Number 6 is recurring revenue models. This is where you can set up systems by which you can get paid recurringly, repeatedly for doing a task once, for writing a book once. This can be subscription models, this can be membership models, this can be affiliate models that pay you on a monthly basis for bringing just one customer. They pay you on a monthly basis for just getting one customer to buy and stay with them. And the work you did once is going to be paying you recurringly over the lifetime of that customer. That there is playing the smart game with your time. Number 7, white labeling. White labeling is something you should really look into. Any product or service at all can be white labeled. In fact, in the world that we are in, almost everything is getting white labeled. White labeling is when you can sell products and services without having to go through the process of creating it by yourself. You are just going to have to get it from the supplier with whatever system they have created, and then you can put your own brand name, put your own pricing, put whatever you want to add as your own brand positioning on that product and sell it at your own price. That's white labeling, and that's something you should check out. Number 8 is royalties and intellectual property rewards. How can you earn money recurringly from patents? What intellectual property do you have that can bring you money recurringly? Are there contents? Are there books? Are there things that you can push out that can bring in royalties on a recurring basis? That's something to look into. Number 9, strategic partnerships. Joint venture partnerships that can help you multiply the results that you get out of your time. There's a scripture that says 1 which is 1,000, 2 which is 10,000. That is the exponential effect of partnerships and collaboration. That's another way to actually multiply the value of your time. All these strategies will do something for you. It will shift you from just selling time to owning time, to investing time, to multiplying time, to getting more done out of the same exact allocation of time you've always had. So here's the question I want to leave with you in closing this episode. Are you selling time? Or are you buying and multiplying time? Are you investing time? Do you see time as something you exchange for money in order to get stuffs? Or are you using your money to free up more time for yourself? This business of time is something we all are engaged in. We are all time traders, whether we acknowledge it or not. All right, so if this resonated with you, I know you have at least someone that needs to hear this. I want you to share it with them. You can follow the Luminary Podcast on Spotify, on Apple Podcast, on YouTube, and on Audiomack. And most importantly, I want you to take action and take charge. See you.